so doing, I think it should incumbent upon us to always look at not only our actions, but actions of others, in which no one has a right to compromise our way of life, or to compromise the ecological integrity of the area in which we so depend upon. Because when you invoke your 2IC, you can clearly see that if our efforts today are very much in harmony with our Earth Mother, and no matter how much knowledge we acquire, and if our environment is not healthy, that knowledge will not have the same meaning. But if we can balance our education systems along with our responsibilities as to how can we all live in a balanced and harmonious way. In the years gone by, it was very much easy, because in the language we would use the word Nedugulik, for example. Nedugulik, yes, gives you the opportunity as to how to prepare yourself so that you can sustain yourself and sustain your families, and extend that to your community and eventually to your nation. Because we all need some source of a way in which we can sustain ourselves. Now, luckily, today, I would like to say, I am no longer anxious. I am no longer feeling desperate or hopelessness. When I listened to that young girl this morning singing in our language, and I can see and I can hear how this generation here has taken a much concerted effort of ensuring that they're always going to know of who they are, where they come from, and why they are here. Now, those are the 3 W's. As yet, we have not been able to start a dialogue of how the 4 W would apply to us. Because this total integration has not happened as yet. So if and when that happens, I believe, then we should all together be able to say, this is where we are going. And with the help of, especially what my friend here, Stephen Augustine, is doing at CPU, I think it's really a very profound instrument in which our own people can embrace the kind of an education that they will need so that they'll be able to sustain themselves and their families and their communities and their nations without them having to feel, what will I be compromising if I just pursue education and I would not be able to learn or to see how I fit into that system, or how am I going to be represented into that system. So I believe and I know our ancestors are very, very happy this is happening, because this is who we are, and this is how we're going to be when our days end here. So there's not enough words I can say in appreciation with all their people that have made sacrifices, efforts. One here, Mary Rose. She has spent her lifetime passing on her knowledge of the language we're used. And I'm sure Mary Rose and Stephen as well are very happy that their efforts are manifested today, because I'm sure at that time I'm sure you too might have felt desperate. I'm sure you have felt that if no action is to happen, take place now, what will happen to our languages? What will happen to our ways of life? And how will that affect the future generations? But by certain individuals making those commitments to ensure that as we move forward, it will only be very essential that we move forward as Skidian or Ulno, so that we would then become or have a better understanding. Because I do understand that if you are totally immersed in your language, I believe that your comprehension level would also be enriched and expanded. Because you now have an advantage of being able to not only look at everything from another perspective, but also apply it in another way, in which it will enrich it, it will enhance it, and we would have then a better understanding of why some actions that are being taken today are being taken without any reprisal from anyone. So through the language, it's not easy because you have, through the language, instilled words like Nergulik, in which you, on a regular basis, you remind yourself that I don't have the right to compromise the ecological integrity of the area. And now we have to worry about other toxins. We don't have the right to compromise the cleansing capacity of the system. Because in our hearts, these teachings are so heavily ingrained or embedded into our consciousness that no matter where we might be, those are the overarching objectives that we have to maintain. The other thing I would like to share with you, of course, is that I hear often to some of our brothers and sisters by saying, I have lost my language. I don't believe you can lose your language. But I do believe that the language can go in a state of dormancy. And I'm very encouraged that dormancy in a state of reawakening at this very moment. In light of what I am seeing and what I am hearing, and in which how young people are excelling in the mainstream education system. It wasn't that long ago, I remember, I believe in the mid-70s, in which here in Unama'ki, in Cape Breton, we only had Asagwam, or 6 high school graduates. And I believe, Stephen reminded me, it's up in 300 plus now, in which we have now post-secondary graduates. So that not only through the sacrifice and through the determination of our people that we have managed to get to where we are. Not to say, though, that our work is complete, because there's not much more work to be done as yet. Because in our endeavors of getting ourselves educated, I believe we also have, as the comrades, make a more notion that you also have to become a student of life. You may graduate from your institutions, but this is one graduation that you're not going to be able to witness, because it's a lifetime journey. It's going to be a lifetime learning. And I am sure, and I am very happy, our ancestors are there, are smiling, that their efforts are now becoming to reality. Because for a long period of time, there was a sense of desperation, not totally hopelessness, but determination and urgency of moving these markets faster than, but you know, sometimes that individually, we sometimes have a tendency to become overbearing in the sense of urgency of revitalizing something, especially of who you are as an Aboriginal person. But then again, when the reality strikes, it has taken a couple hundred years to be where we are. And this process of revitalization, I think it'd be naive on my part to expect this could happen in the blink of an eye. The process might be slow, because if it's not done slowly, it's not going to be done right. And if it's going to be done right, it's got to be slow. It's got to go with the time. And that time is going to be vested on the individual of our youth. Because our youth they are our future. And to my understanding, when we talk about 7 generations, I understand 2011 was the end of one 7 generation. And for your information, for us, 120 years is 1 generation for us, because the reasoning behind that is that for 120 years, you can maintain this human consciousness of something. So 7 generations, I believe, from a human's perspective, it's forever. But when it comes to natural world, it's only a blink of an eye. So this sense of desperation, I believe, we should put that not aside, but push it back a little bit, and spend more and more of our energies to be some way in which we can expand this, because I do realize, and I do have a very strong feeling for a lot of our brothers and sisters that did not have the same opportunities as we had to be able to maintain the language, because the circumstances were as such them days that whatever reason each and every one of us has chosen, it was impossible to maintain or to teach the language in those areas. But I believe now we're in an era now in which we have something, sometimes we curse it, as the Palm Pilots or the iPhones and everything else. But I believe we have to employ the technology, because demographically we are very disadvantaged. Our populations our elders' population is very low, and our young populations are the majority of who we are as nations. So even if everything was in place at this very moment, I believe it would be impossible to be able to utilize all the resources we have now, so that all our nations will be able to benefit of learning the language without the aid of this technology. And for me, I have to admit, I am not very electronically savvy, but I do know of what this technology can do. And I believe it's about time that we harness that technology to expand the knowledge and the knowledge and then the transferring of that knowledge to everyone that can use it and that can need it, especially to our non-native brothers and sisters that are living across our territory. Now, Having said that, since Mi'kmaq cannot be used as working language anymore, and I'm sure it must be very, very difficult for the young parents to be able to see and to see clearly what would be the advantages of maintaining that language, because no matter what they do, no matter where they go, Mi'kmaq is not a working language. But we now have, I feel very comfortable in saying that we now have an institution in our backyards in which it not only has been very instrumental of enhancing and promoting and maintaining the sense of who we are. And that institution, I believe, is geographically located around 8,000 or 9,000 Mi'kmaq, whichever within an hour or so away from it. Because one of the things I would like to think, the reason why majority of our young people are not adhering to the higher education is because they are not really too sure of what they will be given up in this course of action that they might choose, because they need education so that they can sustain themselves. So let's call that a shock, cultural shock. If they can commute to the institution on a regular basis, I'm sure that shock wouldn't be as intense as it would be if they have to go thousands and thousands of miles away from home, in which they would be completely disconnected and not known if and when they will be able to speak to another student in their own language. But I believe here, geographically, we are blessed to have an institution in our backyards in which all these things could be in place to alleviate that pressure of a young Mi'kmaq person leaving home for the first time and not knowing of how to communicate, how to practice, because language is a lifeline, it's a lifetime journey. Language evolves just like everything else. The language that my ancestors spoke, probably, I would have to probably listen 10 times or 20 times before I could fully comprehend what they are saying. So each generation, the language has to meet that era in which we are in. And the era in which we are in now is a technological era in which everything is going to be done technologically, which then I believe, in my mind anyway, we have to somehow focus on the way in which this technology is taking us, and look at artificial intelligence. How will artificial intelligence affect our languages, our ways of being? So I think it's going to be incumbent upon us to ensure that if this technology is going to be in place, we've got to make sure that we're there in the front and center of making sure that we're going to make efforts that our ways of being will be integrated into this new technology. Because I believe it's something in which is inevitable, according to what I'm hearing. But it's not inevitable for us to be able to integrate our ways of being, our ways of knowing into this technology. Because this technology, for us, is quite challenging, because when we look upon knowledge, I have to ask, what is knowledge? And the answer is very simple for us. Knowledge is alive. Knowledge is spiritual and physical. And I know this knowledge will transform me. And I also know I have a big responsibility of sharing this knowledge for the benefit of all. So unless we approach this artificial intelligence in that way, we shouldn't be able to be overly concerned. How will that erode who we are? And I'm sure when there was a need for our parents of encouraging our students to get themselves educated in the Eric-centric system, I'm sure those thoughts were taunting in them as well. What will happen to this generation if they were to completely embrace these new ways of knowing? What will happen to them as Tuskegee or Urnos? And I don't believe in this point in time we have, it's not unusual or shouldn't be a big concern as to how this artificial intelligence will affect us, unless we make a very concerted effort that if it's going to be used and applied, we have to be in it as well, just like everybody else. Beskoor, nieuw beskoor hij. Get you do not bedwega. Jadi mau juga na. Amu ipan ni wisu dia. Karwa asal kislim tu ada wa. Elmi anak begiga. Wi kuji di nai mani muksi. Dal the way is a pil. Dal ada is a pil. Egina muks. Ana go ni nang moya, dalwaya. Ko en kerune mitu. El mi api di kuji di nai mani muksi. Dal ada yo se pil na tuju. Dal lo di yo. Koi uti dua jasi dia demo, kayan nanti lisu ti. Karena kis kuring nanti al nemitu, waldasi. Kam lamunan una ya keju waldasi, nuda ay nut forti. Nuda ay, nuti kina muadi. Beskupti miri ya, beskupti wadi. Ah, beskip kino wasto ti. Negayo, apa ko na mo ano? O bastante li sulti, bastante li bastante li. Mes optimiri lagi mo kikarno, ko man negayo, kisiya wasi yo, bastante li sulti. You know, I'm sure that not only in the past but also in the present, I have to acknowledge, I have to give my sense of appreciation to the people that have not only made a concerted effort, but sacrifices of taking that task upon themselves, of ensuring that not only this present generations, but generations to come, of ensuring that they're going to be very much instrumental of making sure by teaching us not only how to say words, but also how to write them. Because according to them, I don't know if the word would be ambiguous, but I think it's very complex anyway, in which oral and written are so intertwined together. For example, I believe I often heard this example being used. For example, the word gesal. means I love you. Gesalo, I'm hurting you. Gesalo, I am putting you in fire. You can all use the same letters, but it's going to determine where you put that sound mark to differentiate one from the other. And I hope there's no young single guys here going to impersonate a word by using some of those words. But you get the first page of that one. But you know, but that's just only a very small example. I believe as Michelle was talking this morning, I believe she reminded us, not only we can reuse words over and over again, but as well we have to be very mindful about our dialects. I believe there is, in my mind, we have a family dialect, a community dialect, and a regional dialect. But that's not to say that one is right and one is wrong, no. But there is some energy out there in which, like my friend Stephen here, he's from El Salvador. They say things a little differently. We may not have heard that expression before, but we have an idea what that word implies. We may say it differently here, but in fact we're talking about the same thing, so because environment is not that diverse between here and El Salvador where we go, but it's just that the weather patterns are changed, the migrations is changed, migration is different, and what do you call that, time zones are a little different from here and there. So, our language then, I think, has to be that language, our language comes from the land. And how this land reacts, we have to somehow maintain the kind of a language in which we understand what this natural world is telling us, especially our relatives, all the living things that we solely depend upon. So, and it can't be that difficult because we have non-native women in our community. But I have to say they're much more, sometimes they impress me. They know more Mi'kmaq than I do. So it can't be that difficult. So I'd like to give you guys the praise. Thank you very much for doing the work that you have been doing. And not only you have been successful, but you also have been very instrumental of empowering all of us with that energy that you have demonstrated, of ensuring that our ways of being, our ways of knowing would always be. And in order for us to get there and to reach there, it has to be done through the language. Because it's the language that will determine who you are, where you come from, and why you are here. Which then, I believe, we're at the leading age here now. And I believe very quickly or very soon, we will begin this dialogue, not only where we're going, but we will also encourage other parts of the alphabet. Through the language and through integration with other concepts, we should be able to convey to our young people how to respect themselves. Because if they can respect themselves of who they are as Mi'kmaq people, they will respect others. And most importantly, they will respect the essence of life, of ensuring clean air, clean drinking water, and fertile soil, and abundance of biodiversity. Reverence. Since we are very much part and parcel of this wonderful creation of ours, and I don't think there's going to be any and it is viewed on an environment is sacred. And besides, the language is sacred. So I believe we can call it, we can include ourselves in that word reverence. Reciprocity. Since now we have to coexist, the mainstream in us, it should be incumbent upon us to constantly weave back and forth between our ways of knowing, our ways of understanding. So if and when we need to employ, not economically, but employ all of us, we'll be able to do it together. Because now we are gifted with not just two perspectives, but multiple perspectives. Responsibility. In the language, that is the foremost of taking actions, of taking responsibility of your own actions before you can demand responsibility from others. So responsibility, I think, is going to become, in my understanding, of taking responsibility of our own actions, so that we can also demand responsibility of actions of others, of ensuring that this wonderful creation of ours will not only be able to sustain us now, but also be very comforting in knowing that also the next 7 generations will also have the same opportunities in which they can constantly learn and hear the lessons that she is teaching us. So that whenever that day comes, when our great-grandchildren ask us, what did you do? We can always relate to them. I may have done very little of it, but I've done something. Because these individual efforts has to be part and parcel of eventually coming together as one into a collective, because the issues that are before us, as wonderful as science is and technology, I don't believe science and technology can address those things other than unless there's a human consciousness into this process, with the gifts and the tools that science and technology has brought forth to us, then we will be able to ensure that the next 7 generations will also have the same opportunities as we have. And hopefully, and not hopefully, our efforts will be that their opportunities are much more advantageous for them than they are now. So, to me, when I look into that concept of Edwaptable to Waisi, which really hope that it resonates, that this is not just looking at it from the Mi'kmaq perspective, compared to mainstream perspective, but rather how to encourage each and every one of us. Unless we invoke these multiple perspectives, then we will have a better chance of meeting whatever challenges that this creation might bring forth to us. So to our seeing then is not something in which it's intended to question the integrity of an action or a phrase, but rather how I, as an individual, can employ cognitive transformation, so that I take this concept, I fine-tune it, I understand it, I can now apply it, so I can become just an important player of whatever we as a society envision what this transformation should look like as we move forward together. And I believe in knowing that we're not going to do it alone, but we're going to do it collectively. Now, to foster this concept of 2IC, with the blessing of our brothers and sisters of Haudenosaunee people, we borrowed their two canoe wampum, and instead of the canoe, we put in a sled to it. So to highlight this concept of co-learning, if the journey has to go to the Eurocentric system, our non-native brothers and sisters know where and how to get there. And we, the Mi'kmaq people, will do the pushing to ensure that our destination is met. If it has to come to our direction, to our ways of knowing, to our ways of being, we know how to get there. And you, our non-natives and brothers and sisters, you'll do the pushing of ensuring that our destinations will be achieved. So, in essence, this multiple perspective, I believe, encourages all of us of how do we embrace the spirit of collaboration? How do we embrace the spirit of co-learning? Because we don't have to look very far ahead to realize that I, as an individual, I have certain gifts, and so on. And other people have certain gifts. And if we can employ all those certain gifts or special gifts that we all have, wouldn't we not have a better chance of meeting the challenges of the future? Because future is so uncertain for us at this very moment, in which it's going to require not only new thinking, but also knowing that we're going to move forward together to meet whatever challenges of the future may hold for us. Louise na mudejim tuweno, mudejim, muna masiyan. Karwan mush padesi kisko. Abadabin, akademana. Daltluwan kunnevikto. Daltladam kunnevik, aklasi, daltladam kunnevikto. Kolamanda dako kisko nuda ni kinuda masi. Dan mono bidiwis kami ina nuda diksubne. Mabasaji kisiaji ulin sedemo. Mabas kisi edu waktu mo. Kadu kisi edu weo. Kisi weo. Tapo kinaman na weo. Tapo kisi dama. Kalau maranya kama sari ke bukan. Dan kili nedu golek tomates. Dan kistil maliam ada nigaman. Dan kistil maliam sudah. Dan kistil maliam sudah islam set. Pada kis negaboya kinuar uksidas no. Asli muksidas no. Mubas kinu nuda no ka. Apa kono marok ni no. Akses perias do ni no. Kan nuda asal di mawises pede de meneno. Mau det baro de meneno. Ora mau sit khamo. So I believe, as a person that has two languages, I believe it's much more easier for us to begin to look at what do I need from that knowledge center, from the Eurocentric system, and what I already have as an Aboriginal person that has been passed on through generations, to give me a better understanding of what my, not only what my responsibilities are, but especially now knowing that we have reached a point in our eras in which this wall of division is not going to be as paramount as it was in the past. That we can honestly and truthfully say we are different. But that difference should not be used to divide us, but rather to embrace ourselves, embrace our being, embrace our ways of knowing, so that we will have a better, comforting feeling that we're not alone. We're all in this together. Because with that sense of feeling, I believe we will be able to really fulfill what our responsibilities are. And not only to be able to provide for our families, our communities, but also to be very conscious, very mindful that as we are doing these ways in which we are sustaining ourselves, we will not do anything to compromise the ecological integrity of the area and to compromise the cleansing capacity of the system. Because that should be our overarching objective. Because we have something in which we never had before, and that's science and technology. But we have to somehow agree that science, as wonderful as science and technology is, apparently is not fulfilling what our expectations are, what our responsibilities are, of ensuring that this wonderful creation of ours will not only sustain us, but also sustain the next 7 generations. Cuántos días llegas por ahí?
15, 20 minutes.
Now, I'm tired of talking. Whatever time there's left, I would like to encourage interactive. I no longer have to feel I'm alone. If I cannot answer a question, there's a lot of wonderful people here that can help me out, bail me out. So, to our non-natives and brothers and sisters, if there are any questions or an opinion that you may want to share with us as to how we move forward together in this co-learning journey. Good word. We're all going to collectively agree to try it. Work together. Learn together. Thanks, my brother Steve. My God, you must have some, you must be inquisitive in some shape or form. Yeah. Yeah. We are beautiful people. We speak collectively. So I think that's a good model, that's a wonderful model we should embrace. We are beautiful people. And we're going to work together as we move forward into this complex world that we we have allowed, not we, because I have to take some responsibility for that. Because it's through my silences, my denials, and my inactions that I have allowed someone to bring us into the state in which we now are going to be struggling, in which we are even now as we speak. There's no way in which I can go into my natural world anymore and dip my birch bark container and drink water out of the brook. I need science now to tell me what's not good in there for me before I can drink it. And I do hope that we will never be able to rely on some kind of an apparatus on our backs so that we can get the right kind of air, right kind of an oxygen to sustain us. I don't know what can be done with the soil, but to me those are the things I believe that I think about a lot, in which it motivates us to constantly try to be vocal as well of ensuring that these sources of life not only going to be here for us now, but also be there for the future generations. So, since there are no questions, no opinions, which side did you get?
Well, Albert, Edlewisto, Agronomux, Gondwick, Chemunok, the Alasie, Gluswan, Eomuk, Medway, Nawandelewisto, Medway, Bemgaya, again, Adelamu, when Delewisto, Mueomuga, Alasie, Gluswan. Sige, Kisius Comades no Aglasiok. Manseremi, what I was good of unless. Let me do it. But now, where he will die, Albert, West Comoxi, next to him, Moxi, Guna, Kisigo, Limajuino, Nega, Nachtemi, Gina Masurida, Mushpanagino. Weswaduga, Boktamkaduga, Elmadigimka, Amshpana, Iganamukiga, Vijuajishka, Keginamukiga, Negamoka, Dandlea Dulcida, Negamok. Sometimes, know that one load of Negamok is a Negamot, T and Dictu, Dedo, is not K, Dedo, and Dictu. But now, Meski nagina masudi kisigo ni majuino kissa budausic. Aglasi itu luado when lifelong learning. Nega wajigina mai not koi. Sige sometimes overlay koi. Muelai no koi wegai wena ejigala sida. Basna Kisigo ni majuino akatedo negamoya luado well wajigina masit na when down oblai koi ankidet when dalgis klioblai xabnet koi net abajasina when no balsin iladun koi iljo adun aktolnu. Now I Eldavani, I residential school, Imajuino, Mijuaji, Kaiusuolo, Golnoegaritu, Ejigalo Lubanik. Now, Wajian do Bugal Tangoi at a Bugal Keginama Sokti when the game moody when Golnoe Tangoi, Tangoya, wet do we daddy a school, Nagaye and I, Nekmoy, Abishidadi, the Gonway, Muije Dan, 10, 20 years, 15 years, Muijay deltek nuguban nol nuega ni nugu. Kisi hogi ga siawidat ki ga jami juega dintuk. Mu edeno ga siawat nenu na gina masuli. Andige gisko ga wajia badaps kana mu. Tan deli sulti ba. Tan deli ang kita sulti ba. Ala edel Weskawai, Unamagi College, Abo on Madamega, Gladden, Edaha, Merdina, Edelgina, with Nadia, Albert Abo on Moabit, Negamala, Cheryl Bartlett, Eduap the Monk. Tandelgina Masit, when Aglasievic to Alnuik to Science, Alnuik Chida. Bugal ka kelo ke programming waji na dia bugal ka waji graduate vida well lugu dijiga waji school au dijiga na dia la well yon no isul dijiga well gina masul dijiga set ko aidan nuda nenamano apo on madam nenu ai akto no e gadimina la uchida ilat nenu ala Albert Westwood ka integrity, which is maamigawa samwana daya edlamulti nuda wa amek. Anyway, well dasi kisi jikseda alai wijigadu kisi ginam with nanokte gluswa muidu abnina posidlu de wijigadu. Kada negamoy na sige ay delia suala sige equalewine sige numis kisna insis jiganam kisna insis me kisi huida aksis ak jiganam me not hoek kada wijigado na igana maskal na respect delia suala sige wijay negam Kalau kelusuan anyway nada terlihat desolalio.
Albert, just one final thing. How these four sacred colors, black, red, yellow, and white, to us they are sacred because they can stand alone. You need one of them to make another shade. It also represents the four directions, the four seasons, also as well the four races of this earth. When I look at the black race, which I believe is the oldest according to the historians, and I reflect upon them, what did they bring to this creation? By them developing the sound of nature and transforming that and using sound as a form of communication. The red race, which is us, we have been given the gift and the responsibility to be mindful how we are interconnected, interdependent with our natural world. And that responsibility has also been given to us of reminding everyone else, once that have forgotten how interconnected and how interdependent we are with our natural world. Yellow, the yellow race. They taught us, they brought forth the greatest gift to remind us over and over again how our mind and our spirit are so interconnected, intertwined, that you cannot separate one over the other. The white race, which are most of you people here, you have developed in a way in which we can all communicate with each other. And look at the world today. Close to 100% English is used as a working language. So to me, that really fosters our sense of interconnectivity, interdependence with humanity. That we all need each other because not only each individual, but each race has brought something forth in which other races can use. With that, well, and thank you very much.
Wala Gilbert, wala niyo ako sa video tayo. Thank you very much for coming, listening to our elder. I think we're on lunch break.
Okay.